MSG Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Tonight at Tiger Stadium, Detroit, it's the Yankees and the Tigers. The Yankees will start the veteran Melito Perez, and the Tigers will go with the rookie making his major league debut, Pat Ahern. Tiger Stadium, well, there's talk about building a new home for the Tigers, about a mile closer to downtown, but it's still only talk among the politicians, nothing concrete as of yet. And hi again, everybody. I'm Dave Cohen along with Jim Cott. Is it politically correct? Is it grammatically correct to say the Yankees have a one-game winning streak? I know it's accurate to say the Yankees have not won back-to-back games since May 21st. That's about 22 games ago, and it's much longer than that since Buck Showalter has penciled in the same lineup in 2 consecutive games. You've got to go way back to games 8 and 9 on May 4th and 5th for the last time Buck did exactly that.
And maybe that's what this ball club needs right now, a little continuity, a little stability, and I think by the same lineup going out there, first time in a long time, we might see that. Last night, of course, the win was keyed by Mike Stanley. He had his best night as a Yankee, 6 RBIs, including this grand slam, well documented on our pregame show, the 7th of his career. The Yankees had fallen behind a run early in the ball game after a couple of walks and an error. They took the lead on Stanley's grand slammer. They added to it, first time since the 4th of June, double digits, a lot of extra base hits, capitalized on the Tigers' wildness.
Tonight, the Yankees go with the enigmatic Melito Perez. He's perfect in the daylight, but he is winless at night.
But really, Melito's only had a couple of bad starts. Unfortunately for the Yankees, one of them was in his last start against the Mariners. When he gets that fastball on the inside corner like that, along with the split finger, Melito Perez is a very tough pitcher. Not a good outing last Friday against Seattle. He'll try to turn that around tonight.
The Yankees have gone with a couple of rookies in their starting rotation earlier this year. Tonight, Detroit goes to a very young pitcher just up from Toledo.
Going to have a lot of fun watching Pat Ahern. He has mimicked Orel Hershiser since the time he was a kid growing up in California. Talk about the Tigers moving some of their veterans. Sparky going to give the ball to Pat Ahern tonight.
So it'll be this young man, Pat Ahern, and Melito Perez as the Yankees and Tigers go in Game 3 of their series here at Tiger Stadium on MSG. Tiger Stadium, Detroit, top of the first inning. The Yankees looking for back-to-back wins, and Luis Polonia is in to lead off for the Yankees against Patrick Ahern. Spells his name A-H-E-A-R-N-E. Louis Polonia, the leadoff man. You'd like to see Louis hit some more ground balls to give himself a chance to find some holes or perhaps beat out some. Last night he laid down a bunt, but he's had a tendency to fly to left field. This one is on the ground and in the hole into left field.
Well, he should have a good chance to do that as he did in that at bat. Ahern's the kind of pitcher will try to keep the ball down. Of course, the grass is thick here at Tiger Stadium, but Louis hit that sharply and in the hole.
Here's the rest of the 7-11 lineup that Pat Ahern is facing. Wade Boggs, Paul O'Neill, Danny Tartabull, then Don Mattingly, Mike Stanley, Tony Fernandez, Randy Velarde, and Bernie Williams.
Tigers in the field behind young Pat Ahern. We'll have Chad Curtis, Danny Batista in center and right, Fryman, Gomez, Whitaker and fielder, John Flaherty behind the plate. And highlighted tonight, Bobby Higgins, an example of what Sparky has been able to do this year with the Tigers. More young outfielders that can catch the ball, cover a little more ground. That's been an improvement for Detroit in the field.
Wade Boggs had an at-bat last night in which he swung and hit the first pitch as Polonia is chased back. Usually Wade goes fairly deep into the count. Rounded out on that one play last night. Pat Ahern, excellent numbers at Toledo. Another dive by Louis as Cecil Fielder provides the target.
Got good quick action going to first base. Look for a right-hander's footwork to tell what kind of pickoff move they have.
Louis leading the Yankees in stolen bases with 6. He's been caught once.
You can imagine what's going through young Pat Ahern's mind. 7-1 in Toledo. Gets the call to make his major league debut here in this historic old ballpark.
Fastball tailing away. It's strike 1 to Wade Boggs. 2 balls and a strike.
Got a chance to talk to him prior to the game. Of course, he pitched Pepperdine to the College World Series title back in 1992. And that's where some baseball fans began to recognize how much alike he and Orel Hershiser, in terms of their motion, are.
Into center field, and this one is hanging up long enough for Curtis to make the catch. Polonia hustling back to first, one away.
Don't think of Pepperdine maybe as a national baseball power, but they certainly were that year under Coach Andy Lopez. And of course, Mike Fetters, a reliever with Milwaukee Brewers. Chad Kruger we just saw with the Mariners. Andy Stankiewicz with the Houston Astros, and Stevie Rodriguez, who was with the Red Sox, really recently sent down. All active players that played for the Wave out in Pepperdine.
Now Paul O'Neill with one out and one on. And they're still concerned with Louis Polonia. Wonder if Pepperdine has played Tulane, the Wave and the Green Wave.
Yeah.
O'Neill takes the first pitch down low.
Now the key to whether he could be successful in his major league debut is getting those knee-high strikes. He's not an overpowering pitcher, and again, a lot like Hershiser, sinker slider, tries to keep the ball down around the knees, take advantage of this nice thick infield grass.
Deep to right field, way back, and this one is off the base of the wall. Or did it hit the upper deck? It did. It's a home run. A two-run homer for Paul O'Neill as Batista was camped under it, but it clipped the upper deck on the way down, and the rookie in his major league debut has been reached for a two-run homer by Paul O'Neill. Home run number 6. The Yankees lead 2-0.
Took advantage of that overhang here at Tiger Stadium. This is one of those ballparks where when you hit a high, lazy fly ball, you mentioned Batista was camped under it, but that upper deck hangs over the lower deck several feet, and it just caught the facade.
Yankees 2 and the Tigers nothing. Here's Danny Tartabull taking a pitch inside, ball 1.
Proof that sinker ball pitchers cannot survive pitching belt high. There's a look at the overhang from the right field line.
Now those folks were in foul territory. The upper deck overhangs the lower deck. There's also some signage in the right field corner. Bouncing ball foul.
This is that lazy fly ball. Ahern gets this one up belt high. And Batista, as you mentioned, looked like he was camped under it. It might have a shot, and it just caught right above the Coca-Cola sign. A little closer look.
Well, futile effort by Danny Batista, 2-0 Yankees. Danny Tartabull with an equally futile effort on that swing and a miss against the breaking pitch. First strikeout of Pat Ahern's major league career. And now he has to face Don Mattingly. That hit by Paul O'Neill, the 998th of his big league career. Strike to Mattingly.
Ahern, 25 years old. Tigers picked him 7th in the 1992 draft.
Bouncing ball hit to Cecil at first base. He'll do it by himself. 2 away. 3 away as the Yankees come up with 2 runs here in the top of the first inning on the Paul O'Neill home run. So in the middle of the first, it's the Yankees 2 and the Tigers nothing. Now some of the young fans, at least one Yankee fan in attendance here at Tiger Stadium, as the Yankees come up in the top of the second inning, leading by a score of 2-0. And here's the hero last night, Mike Stanley. He's facing the rookie pitcher in his major league debut, Pat Ahern. Stanley fouls it off his foot at the plate. Mark Johnson is the home plate umpire tonight.
That's remarkable when you look again. Mike Crispino pointed it out on the pregame show with Mike Stanley with 71 career home runs and 7 grand slams. How many of the great Hall of Famers that have hit 400, 500 don't reach that total? Very productive with the sacks loaded.
Looks at the breaking pitch for a strike from Pat Ahern. And this one's hit in the air to right field and carrying well. Batista going back. He can't get it. That one's in the seats. It's a home run for Mike Stanley. Wow. Second night in a row, Mike Stanley is homered for the Yankees. That one carried well. And it carried over the fence. Fifth home run of the year for Stanley, and the Yankees now lead 3-0.
That looked more like a line drive double. I'm sure when Mike Stanley hit that ball, he didn't think that was going to be a home run. Neither did Pat Ahern. He said, man, that pitch was down around the knees. What's wrong with that? Should be a routine fly ball to right, not at Tiger Stadium. Batista with a nice effort against the fence in right, but it just cleared it.
And a slump bunt by Tony Fernandez to short. He's going to beat it out. So the Yankees do it with power, and then they do it with speed. And great bat control by Tony Fernandez.
Another look at Stanley's swing. Takes a low pitch the other way. And drives it. Batista thinks he has a shot at it. And about a foot cleared the fence. Fernandez fouls. I don't think Tony will get the ball tonight. Last night after at base hit, he called for the ball. There was no milestone. He just said, I haven't had many in June. I thought I'd keep it.
Now Fernandez kept close. The Yankees resembling the Bronx Bombers here with home runs in each of the first 2 innings. Paul O'Neill with a 2-run shot and a solo job by Mike Stanley. Then the bunt by Tony Fernandez. Now Randy Velarde. 3-0 Yankees. A rough indoctrination for Pat Ahern.
Yeah, the pitch to O'Neill was up. But the pitch he made to Stanley, I'm sure he felt that was a pretty good pitch. Mike went down and drove it.
It was down to start with, and it was breaking further down in the strike zone. Just getting back. Maybe Phillips, the umpire at first base.
The Yankees don't have much of a read on young Pat Ahern in terms of his move, and they're seeing the quick footwork. Almost caught Tony. In fact, he was leaning towards second, and Cecil not able to apply the tag quite in time.
Tony has 2 steals this year. Back standing.
There's a lot of nervous throws right now when you're starting your first game and pitching against guys that you've read about, base runners, trying to burn off that nervous injury. You see the energy, you see the deep breaths, and a lot of those throws to first base are because of that.
And another. That's the kind of pickoff throw I like, when you don't fully come set.
You give the runner a few different looks, and with that timing, most of the time you're in his motion, you're catching the runner leading off as you go into your motion. He's still going towards second.
Bouncing ball as Fernandez was going off the bat of Randy Velarde. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Randy. 3-0 Yankees. It's cooler tonight than it was last night here at Tiger Stadium, but a beautiful night. Infield, outfield playing Randy Velarde straight away. Infield hoping to turn 2. Mark Johnson behind the plate. 1-2 now to Velarde. He's hitting 8th in the Yankee lineup tonight.
Tony Fernandez has an unusual stance. Notice how he'll get the right arm back toward the left knee.
Bluff of a start. The ball is hit into the left field corner by Velarde. Fernandez is on his way to third. Velarde is heading for second. Stand-up double Randy Velarde, and the Yankees now have runners at second and third. Nobody out. The 5th double of the year for Velarde.
To the telephone, and in all probability left-hander Brian Bohannon. Yankees taking advantage of young Pat Ahern's pitches up in the strike zone, and Velarde gets this down in the left field corner. Good speed by Higginson. That prevents Fernandez from being able to score, and a rocky start for the young right-hander.
So we'll get the pitching coach. We've got action. Bohannon, who initially was listed as the starter in the series for this game, is up and throwing.
Tigers made a couple of roster moves. They sent Buddy Groom, left-hander, who pitched in last night's ball game, down to the minor leagues, and they've added former Cleveland Indian Kevin Wickander. And along with Bohannon, of course, Sparky says against the Yankees, with all those left-hand bats, you want a couple of lefties down there, buying a little time to allow Bohannon to get loose.
Switch hitting Bernie Williams is coming up for the first time, hitting number 9 for the second night in a row. Bernie comes in tied for the Yankee RBI lead with 21. That pitch catches the outside corner. Bernie leads the Yankees with 67 total bases. He also has more RBIs than any Yankee after the 7th inning. So despite his batting average, which is .239, he has been very productive at times. Consistency is what the Yankees are looking for. Bouncing ball off the glove of Ahern, fielded behind second. The throw is not in time. Bernie beats it out. A run scores, and the Yankees now have a 4-0 lead. That'll be an RBI single for Bernie Williams. 22nd RBI of the year.
And things beginning to turn for Buck Showalter's team. The last few weeks, it seemed like every one of these was either right back at the pitcher or in play. Gomez makes a nice play going to his left, but from that off-balance position can't throw out Williams with his speed.
So the Yankees now have 2 runs in the first and 2 in the second. Runners at first and third, and Louis Polonia up with nobody out. 6 hits already. That was the 6th pickoff throw of the night for Pat Ahern.
Talked about the soft conditions here at Tiger Stadium. Bernie wanted a little time to get a foothold out there in the deep track.
Still trying to get one. That area where Bernie is leading off now at Yankee Stadium, they put that mat down before the game so it doesn't get wet and muddy, and now Flaherty is going to go out and maybe buy some time.
The thick grass here, I was talking about that with Buck Showalter before the game, it helps the pitcher in terms of ground balls. It slows the ball down, but the flip side of that is it takes a little longer to get to the infielders, and when you have somebody with the speed of a Bernie Williams, you really have to play shallow on the infield in order to throw them out.
And Bernie using the dive technique to get back.
That's all Sparky wanted. He just wanted a couple tosses to first base. He doesn't want his young right-hander to get roughed up anymore and get the lefty in there as quickly as possible.
So Patrick Ahern's major league debut will be a short one.
Well, there's been a lot of great pitchers in this game that have had debuts like this. So again, Sparky's going to give him a few more chances than just tonight.
Only 26 pitches, and Patrick Ahern is chased here in the second inning. To this point, he's allowed 4 runs and 6 hits. We'll be returning to Tiger Stadium on MSG after this.